Hey, Dave.
Yeah, Randy?
Since we founded Bombas, we've always said our socks, underwear, and T-shirts are super soft. Any new ideas?
Maybe sublimely soft.
Or disgustingly cozy.
Wait, what?
I got it. Bombas. Absurdly comfortable essentials for yourself and everyone on your list.
And for those facing homelessness.
Because one purchased equals one donated.
Wow, did we just write an ad?
Yes.
Bombas. Big comfort for everyone. Go to bombas.com/Wondery and use code Wondery for 20% off your first purchase.
Prince Harry spent his life living in the shadow of his mother's tragic death. But when he falls in love, he realizes it's up to him to stop history from repeating itself. In our new series, Prince Harry, Windsor of Change, we'll tell you how a prince without direction became a duke who found a family.
Listen to Even the Rich on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Happens when there's so much that happens. Watch what happens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that happens? Hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker. Joining me is Ronnie Karam, as usual, and we are in the middle of our Salt Lake City recap, okay? If you missed part one, go back and listen to it on our podcast feed. It also includes an update on Below Deck from this week. So go check that out. And without further ado, let's get into part two. So speaking of food, we go to Mary's house where she's slicing some carrot cake. And Monica shows up. She's like, girl, it's stunning in here, girl. I've never been to this neighborhood before, girl. So then Mary's just talking about, like...
I started doing the Mary math. Did you?
What, when she said she'd been there 21 years, but her son's...
She's 20. Like, yeah, well, thanks. I've been here for, 20 years because my son was 2 days old when we moved in, and I was pregnant the year we got it, and he's 20. So... I've been here 20 years. It's like, why are you so insistent on getting a timeline down on the camera? What's going on?
I know. I was confused at first because she said, we've been here for 21 years and we moved in here. No, I don't know. I started to do the math and then I was like, you know what, Ben? There are better things for you to be doing with your time right now, because I literally wrote it all down too, and then I actually erased it because I was like, Ben, you're gonna get sucked into this, and you don't get sucked into
some
Ben.
kind of conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Well, it's fishy to me. There, I said it. I
was more focused. I'll tell you what I was focused on, Ronnie. I mean, I was focused on the math. I'm not acting like I wasn't. I just felt like I was going to be annoying about it, but. What I did notice also when they showed her living room, I never noticed this before, that Mary on her coffee table has a giant like replica of a bridge that lights up. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
It's like a Brooklyn Bridge, but it's not a Brooklyn Bridge. It's almost like a random bridge. It's like the Throgs Neck Bridge, but it's like huge. It takes up the entire table. Who puts a bridge on their table?
I don't know, but there you go. Someone who wants to work things out. Build a bridge. Build a bridge, guys.
Wait, but by the way, did you have a conspiracy theory about this timeline, by the way, that I just stomped all over?
I don't have a conspiracy theory. It's just, I was just thinking, why are you trying to get a timeline? I don't know. It's fishy. I don't know. Yeah. So, but now we've officially talked about it too long. Thanks, Ben. Thanks. So they eat cake, and Mary's like, is your cake good? Are you eating the cake? Yeah, I'm eating it. Is it good? What do you think of it? It's good. Why? Did you make it? She's like, no. So... Yeah, I've been good. I've just been trying to pace my time and make sure my sanity is protected and make sure I don't lose my mind on anyone like I did. And then we get a clip of, you called me a pornography, sweetheart. A pornography.
Grow up, little girl. I was surprised we didn't get a wake up bobblehead. That's one of my favorites. So Monica's like, I get it. That's like where I'm at, girl. And Mary's like, losing your mind? Don't ever lose your mind. Don't lose your mind over anyone, ever. And she goes, yeah, but I just feel like Lisa was just like relentless, girl. And Mary is like, yeah, well, with Lisa, I feel like you can go back and forth. It's not just her. It's both of you. Both of you are the problem.
Yeah, but she can get really nasty, that one. And Mary's like, yeah, that's true. That's true. So Monica says, I'm trying to figure out what her problem is with me. Oh, really? You don't know what her problem is with you, Monica? Come on. Really?
Yeah.
Maybe it's the first group trip you went on when she lost her thing and you started calling her materialistic in front of everybody. Now, were you wrong? No, you were absolutely correct. But that's her problem with you. Why are you acting like you don't know what it is? And also, calling her ugly and old and all of that other stuff. Why are you pretending like you don't know what it is?
And Mary's like, what she does, like, what does she do that makes you feel like that makes you feel like she's materialistic? And Monica's like, oh my God, Mary, how many carats? This is the new Chanel. Oh my God, I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. I'm like, yes, Lisa does that. But I hate to break it to you, Monica, you're on The Real Housewives. This is a show that is literally built on materialism. Like the backbone of this show is women shopping, and then a chyron appears on screen showing how much it was that they purchased. Like, $6,000, $1,500.
Your mother just repossessed a Range Rover you can't afford.
You're fighting
what are you
over a Range Rover. Okay, you could get a Hyundai.
I went to the purse store and I bought a bag. Oh, just so I can fit in.
Yeah.
So Mary's like, you just have to take her for who she is, because grudges eat people. Grudges are like cake. Are you eating the cake? Are you eating? Is it good? It's like,
yes, I'm still eating the cake. It's good. Are you sure you didn't make this?
Nope. Don't know why I'm asking. I've lived here 20 years, so.
So Monica basically is like, yeah, she has really good advice. She just can't really follow it very well. So she's going to apologize. And Mary says, and really mean it. You can't just say things, not with them. For instance, when I called Whitney a bobblehead, I meant that from the depths of my soul, because she is one.
Well, yeah, but that's why I said she's wrinkly.
I know.
Mary's like, no, don't say that. Don't say that part.
It was weird. Mary was like momentarily a voice of reason. So then speaking of Whitney, we now go to Whitney, and she's driving. And now at this point, we've learned that Sherry has passed. And so Whitney's really distraught. It happened like last night. Angie calls to check in on her. And Whitney is debating whether or not to go to Meredith's jewelry show. But she decides that she is going to go because that's what Sherry would have liked.
And then we go to my favorite part. Lisa, John, and Jack at Modern Missionary Menswear. I thought this shit was so funny. I had no idea that they had missionary fashion stores.
I know. That was great. I loved it. And I love that this one was quote unquote modern, but anytime Lisa selected something that was modern in the store, they're like, oh no, I'm sorry. No. It's more conservative.
Yeah, that's more for prom. Then what's it doing in the fucking missionary store? It's literally called Modern Missionary Menswear. You can't have prom teal in here.
So the salesman's like, you know what? While you're proselytizing, you need to wear slacks. And we do have some slacks that are like Lululemon. It's kind of like stretchy. And Lisa goes, I love that.
Oh my God, I love that. Lululemon slacks. And she's like, can he wear any of these colors? Like, what about teal? And he goes, no, that's for prom. They like more conservative. Okay, so basically, yellow? No, more conservative. Black? Only black. Yes, only black. So then it's just $500 in the stores. Is that the difference?
So let me guess. Slacks with a white short sleeve button down shirt and a tie, right? Let me just guess.
But $900. Also, you're allowed to have a mullet as long as you don't put gel in it. New rules. Those are new Bible rules.
Is the modernity that there's stretch fabric, so it's slightly more comfortable? You're not doing yoga while you're doing, you're not doing the missionary position when you're a missionary. Let's be honest. You're just a missionary.
I have yoga pants. I ain't doing fucking yoga.
But I'm like, does that, like, if you're wearing like yoga like slacks, at that point, is there a significant difference between slacks and yoga like slacks? Slacks are not like uncomfortable. They're just slacks.
Oh my God, I've got grease on my head, literal grease on my head, because I put oil on my head. Why?
Well, you don't want wool slacks.
You need comfortable things to do missionary work, because it's a lot of walking around and dinging and donging. It's a lot of, what do you get for your fingers? That's what I want to know, because that's the thing that's really stretching. The ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
What do you do when you show up at someone's door and they like attack you with a broom? Like, what do you wear for that?
Also, I feel like if I was going to come up with a missionary centric business, like a prep business for missionaries, I would definitely do facial work. Like, I don't know, Botox for missionaries, or pore cleansing for diamond facials for missionaries, because everything's a ring cam now. So now you're not even talking to the person, you're talking to their fucking ring cam when you go ding dong, because now it's not ding dong, it's dun dun dun. And then the people are like, "Who are you?" And you have to be like, "Hi, I'm here to tell you about John Smith and the Lord and how the Lord talked to John Smith," or whatever the hell it is. And then you don't want the person being like, "Get out of here, ugly." You know, you have to have a cute face. You don't want them to be like, "Oh my God, your face moves too much. Get out." If there really was a God, why would your face move so much?
I would bring a trick-or-treat bag. I would show up with a bag and people would be like, "Oh, this poor child. They think it's Halloween. Oh, I hate to break it to them." So you open the door and you're like, "I'm sorry. Oh, sweetheart. It's actually April. Oh, thank you for reminding me that. Because, by the way, do you know about John Smith? Can I talk to you about Mormonism?" It's like, fuck.
I thought you meant you'd bring candy, like a trick-or-treat. Like you'd bring candy to the house, which is actually smart. And that is actually how Jesus got so many followers. I mean, not with Snickers, but like with bread, with carbs and wine. Come with M&Ms and be like, it's about Mormonism and missions, you know? Yeah, that's how to modernize it.
Modernize it. Listen.
I think I've just really been wanting to say modernity. Is that a word?
That should be the name of the store. That's like a store in Salt Lake City. Modernity. And like you go there and you get like a shawl. So anyway, they're buying. So they are like trying on different things. And Lisa's like, "What about this one?" It's like a red suit. They're like, "No, sorry, red's not allowed. That's we only really allowed black. Sorry." So then they're at like,
you know what? Okay, let's get him a size 32. But you know what? He might get chubby on mission, so maybe a 33. Oh my God, the restaurants in Bogota are supposed to be amazing. Oh, you know what? I love that pair over there. Can we just do jungle chic? Like, what are those? Like army pants? Get those. I want
jungle
those.
Chic? Does she? What does she know? What is Lisa's conception of what Bogota is in Colombia? It's not like walking through like vines and snakes and anacondas.
Do you have any machine guns? You know, people really want someone dressed in army gear dinging their doorknob. Doorbell.
What happens if he finds a lost city of treasure? Does he have a sack so we can bring something back? Is that allowed?
Oh my God. Speaking of, I watched that Indiana Jones movie on the plane.
Oh, how was it?
Terrible movie. Terrible movie.
Terrible.
Oh my God. They just took all the life out of fucking Indiana Jones. If Harrison's tired, don't make another movie. They're like, what would this be like if we just made Indiana Jones with zero personality?
Who's the new young? Because they got rid of Shia LaBeouf, right? Because he's a terrible person. So now there's like a new person carrying on the torch, right?
His friend's daughter. And she's the girl who did the show Fleabag, Phoebe Waller-Cates or Phoebe Cates Waller. She was fine, but that movie sucked. Okay.
Of course it sucked. I'm sorry that you watched it.
I did. I watched the whole thing.
But I love that it's Lisa Barlow's idea of what Jack's mission in Colombia is going to be like. He's going to go down there and he's going to be recruited to go down to the jungle and he's going to find a secret society. He's going to come back with lots of gold.
You know what Jock needs? Jock needs to be wearing clothes that he can either be missionarying to people or if a big ball is chasing him, he can run from it.
Although maybe he should ask if the ball wants to join LDS. So, I love the sales guy. She's like, I love that you guys are taking a more modern approach to suiting. And he goes, yeah, I feel like missionaries don't have to look ugly. And so Jack comes out. He's wearing a very standard missionary outfit, but he has like a light blue tie. Like that's the modern touch.
Yeah, he's like way less ugly now. Am I right?
And Lisa's like, yeah, you know what? We don't need to forget fashion. Okay, Jack, come out.
And so he comes out in his teal tie, and she goes,
oh my God, what a cute little missionary.
And Jack's like, I think you need the separation from me, Mom. Like, you're a lot. I mean, I love you, but I need space. When you were 18, you were telling me you were getting into Russian guys' limos and stuff and partying. Now you need to let me live my life.
It's time for me to leave the nest. She goes, yeah, it doesn't make it less hard for us. And by the way, if you do encounter a wealthy Russian with a limo, I do encourage you to get into it. So
yeah, I mean, it only leads to good things. And by the way, as you fly out of the nest, please stop by a Fantastic Sam store because, like, literally, your haircut is embarrassing no matter where you're sent.
We're trying to do an emphasis on modernity. So Lisa's saying she's going to have a hard time without Jack being there for the holidays and stuff. It's going to be sad. And she talks about how this is like really personal and he's doing it for all the right reasons. And, it's the right decision for him. And he has everything at his fingertips and he can be doing anything in the whole entire world. But this is what he chooses to do. He's choosing to serve people from the moment he wakes up to the time he goes to sleep, to which I say he could have also worked at Applebee's.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you got time to lean, you got time to clean, buddy. Jeez.
She's like, he's doing it for the right reasons. He could be doing anything in the world, but you know what? He just doesn't want to go to college, so he's spreading love, kindness, and teal. I don't think Bogota's seen teal yet.
Yeah. Get ready, Bogota. Teal's coming for ya. So she says,
Jack is about to say Bogota, and I'm not okay.
Remember what you used to say to me when you were little? Get out of my face. God, I'm trying to grow these bangs out. Stop it, Mom. No, when you said, my heart beats to Mom, to Mom, to Mom. Oh!
He's so mortified. That is a mortifying thing to say about your son on camera.
My heart beats to you, Mom. Ugh. So she's like, I feel like it was just yesterday I brought you home. It was yesterday I brought you home and showed you how to use a straw so you could drink your Diet Coke and not get Pontaces.
Is this the little boy I introduced to Teal? Is this the little boy I brought to Wendy's?
He's like, it'll be good for me to come back and you to look at me as an actual adult. Because, like, going to live in a poor country, maybe I'll come back and be able to see the good stuff. What the fuck? You can't see your good stuff? Last year you were saying you wanted to save up money from the business you were handed after doing all that nothing to buy a fucking McLaren. And now you need to go to a poor country to get the hell out of here. Go.
And to come back and be, in 2 years, he'd be like, yeah, man. Someone will be like, hey, I just got a new iPhone. I'm so excited. Yeah, man. I just spent 2 years in a poor country. Like, life's more than iPhones. Like, thanks, I guess.
I use an Android now, so I learned a lot.
I moved on to Samsung. I heard that Samsungs are popular with Gen Z. Did you hear this?
Where am I going to hear that?
From your nieces, maybe?
No, not to them.
Samsung is
not
in,
to them.
guys. Samsung is so in. Because you know what? Gen Z loves phones that don't work as well.
Ben just flaming the Samsung people.
I like Samsung other things like TVs and signs.
I don't know. Listen, I just need. You're fucking your phone. You know what I mean? You're dating your phone. You're reading your phone. You're fucking your phone. Like, it needs to be dependable. And also, you need to be in a good, solid group message. So, listen, if I'm fucking you and group messaging you, it's going to be iOS until something proves itself otherwise. I've had all the other kinds. I've had the, I had the Note when it came out because it was like the first phablet. Remember when we used to say that? Phablet.
I'm just embarrassed for all of us.
It was like so gay.
I feel like Lisa Barlow still says that. Hey guys, I just got a phablet.
Yeah, I've had a couple of Samsungs, and it was harder to fuck the Samsung, I have to say. Porn loaded slower, more slowly. Okay. That's some information nobody needed. Thanks, Ben, for dragging me into that one. Heather arrives at a bar. Monica's in, and they're dressed very formally.
Actually, I loved the way Heather looked. I thought this was a great look on Heather. I feel like it made me realize I've never really seen Heather dressed formally before. She's, tried to do like looks and stuff, but not like proper formal. They were at like a nice hotel bar or something. It was actually too nice for the show. I was concerned. I was like, was the TCBY not available to shoot? Like, what's going on? So
we've had a lot of events that have not taken place on top of that hotel with the pool.
Yeah.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens.
Ronnie, do you know what I love more than anything? I'm not even going to let you answer. It's bread. I love bread. And recently...
I love bread.
It's the best. It's literally the best. And I was excited because I recently found a low-carb bread called Hero Bread. And honestly, it's my new bread. It is my go-to bread for my sandwiches and for anything bready in my kitchen.
There is a reason it's called Hero Bread. It is a hero. It's my personal hero. It's really high in fiber, low in net carbs, 0 sugar per slice, and the taste and texture of this bread. It's really hard to find a bread like that that's in that category that's so fluffy and chewy and just pulls apart like a little bread cloud.
It's true, though. It really is true. After every session that we finish recording Watch for Crappins, I go and make myself a sandwich, and Hero Bread is now the official bread of my post-recording sandwich.
Right now, Hero Bread is offering our listeners 10% off their first order.
Just go to hero.co and use our code CRAPPINS to save on Hero Bread today. That's HERO.co to save 10% today.
My hero.
Let's be real, Ronnie. No matter how well you know someone, gift giving is never easy. But this year, I am going to get those on my list, a gift that they actually want with Quince. And I hope you do too, Ronnie.
Quince creates timeless essentials that never go out of style. You'll have them in your closet forever.
Quince has all the cold weather must-haves, like 100% Mongolian cashmere crewneck sweaters from $59, suede bomber jackets, and organic cotton sweaters.
And the best part, all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. I love that.
I am really excited to go browse through the website, which thankfully is also really easy to go through and pick out the absolute perfect thing for my friends and my family.
Absolutely luxurious. Make gift giving better this year with Quince. Go to quince.com/crappins for free shipping and 365-day returns on your order. That's QUINCE.com/crappins to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/crappins.
Commercial.
Well, did that pool close for the summer? What's going on? Are they cleaning
What
it out?
happened?
Yeah.
Did they finally ban your asses from that pool?
Is there not a cake that could be shaped like Whitney's boobs for someone to press their face into?
Did they finally realize that none of you live in that building?
I just was shocked that there was anything that looked as nice as this in Salt Lake City. Everything has been just sort of like a suburban, it's like Maggiano's. So
everything else is Samsung, if you will. By the way, that's Ben flaming you, not me.
Listen, by the way, if Samsung would like to change our minds and become a sponsor, I fully welcome it. I embrace it.
I'd love to try your OLED TV.
Listen, I like that they
Did
have
you say
a phone
OLED
that
or
folds.
OLED?
I think I say OLED. I never really say it. I have no reason to say it in life. It's like the other day I said ribald, and I'm like not even sure that's how I say it because it's a word that I just always read, but I never actually have to say it. Is it ribald? I think it's ribald.
Ribbled.
OLED, ribbled, ribald. Is it Samsung or is it Samsung? I'm not sure. I never actually say it.
Okay, so they meet at this bar. Monica's carrying around a big box. Did we ever find out what's in the box?
No, I'm assuming it was maybe that rum that she busts out later, or maybe she was there just to steal some bottles from behind the bar. Who knows?
So they start. Heather orders a Chardonnay that's called bread and butter, which I think is so funny. Like that, I would drink that. It's just what funny. A great thing. Just bread and butter. Hell yeah, I would order anything called bread and. I would order a salad called bread and butter.
So I sometimes have this weird thing where I always am. When things are named after other things of the same like category, it's strange to me. So like, I think it's funny when people name their dogs. I've said this before. When people name their dogs after other animals, like if someone names their dog Bear, I'm like, why are you calling your dog Bear? It's a dog. It's like, why would you do that? But like, it's funny to me to name a wine after a different food item. Like, oh, this is wine. We're gonna call it bread and butter. It's kind of like a mind fuck.
I love it. It's the bread and butter.
It's a delicious mind fuck, mind you.
Yeah, I need to stop saying bread and butter because I'm getting hungry. So then we find out that Moscow Mule is my favorite drink, which we don't need to be talking about all this. Why are we? Because Monica's favorite drink is the Moscow Mule, and one of you might have trivia one day where that is actually asked. So Heather's, they're talking about Bermuda, and Monica's like, "No, I'm not gonna go." Just kidding. You took that way too well, by the way. And Heather's like, "Well, I just felt really bad after our luncheon. I felt that you were down." After completely starting a fight where I knew the person was going to kick you off the wagon. So I made her say it in front of the whole table in a bonnet, shaking butter.
I had a vision of you just rolling around in the dust as a wagon train just leaves you behind and heads off to the Donner Pass, where people would rather eat themselves than spend another instance with you. So I felt bad imagining that of you. And Monica's like, yeah, well, it was just like a really difficult meal for me, girl. And Heather's like, well, girl, she's like, you dish it out, but you've got to be able to take it. She's like, yeah, but
okay, lunch lady, you're the one dishing it out. You're the one starting it, at least. I mean, I guess Lisa is technically the one that dished it out, but you made the mac and cheese, okay? So she's like, well.
Linda was at home giving a standing ovation. Like, thank you. Someone finally says it.
So Monica's like, okay, that's fair, and you were upset, rightfully so. And Heather's like, I was trying to like tough love you out of this situation, and I won't do that again. I've learned. And she's like, well, the best thing I could have done is just shut up. So like, I owe you the biggest apology. I'm so sorry. I was just like so honored to do this trip with you, and I completely let you down. She really does have those swings like Jen. They're right. Where Monica just loses it. Angie was right earlier in the episode when she's like, this girl just loses it, and then she comes back with an apology every time.
But every franchise seems to have this person, and when it's done right, it's deeply entertaining, right? Like, Monica is like this, Brandy Glanville in her prime was like this, Ramona in her prime was like this. They're the people who are just like chaotic, and then they apologize, and it's just like, it's really fun. And Monica's just another one of these types. So Heather's like, it's okay. She goes, Monica being so apologetic, but she also has shown she has a dark side. And like, I like Monica a lot as a person, but I can't help to feel like there are alarm bells going off. I'm like, there probably are literal alarm bells going off because she's probably stealing someone's jewelry.
So they're literal alarm bells. She's like, like, I'm hearing them right now. Like, has anybody seen our box of rum? Anybody? We just had it delivered. Monica's like, I am counter calling the police on you guys. So I'm countersuing you for leaving rum for me to take. Like, I thought that was free. So
I literally stick my hand in the toilet to see if there's a rum bottle down there, girl.
So Monica's like, okay, to turning over new leaves and not getting mad about every single thing. And Heather goes, yeah, and not calling women ugly and old. And she goes, well, we are middle-aged. I mean, that's a fact. She goes, no one wants to be reminded of that. First of all, why are you mad at somebody for calling somebody else old? You should be thanking her. You own a youthening business.
I know. This is more money for you. You got to make up for that money that Monica won't pay you. So, get the business.
Chances are most of us called the Botox lady after that episode. I did.
So now Meredith and Seth and Brooks are walking very blasely, if that's a word. Oh, I was like, I hear like a
modernity.
Sound. Oh, Ronnie just
I'm trying to get us sponsoring with Topo Chico.
That was such a beautiful. Ronnie put a Topo Chico label on his forehead, and then it's sort of like blue to the side in a very dramatic way. Like, I have to imagine that's what the movie looked like that Linda watched. I saw a movie about a woman in Croatia who had a Topo Chico label on her forehead, and she never got to tell her mother about it.
Okay, so let's go to this party. It's Meredith's jewelry party, and she's in Tweety Bird yellow, and she's like, well, this is a sort of an intro to Plated by Meredith Marks. It's made for people who can't afford the fine jewelry. And then they cut to earrings that are $1,390. This is not how poor people shop, man. What the fuck is this?
Basically, what I do is I hold a net and I watch Andy GK throw plates down on the floor while she says Opa, and I take the shards and turn it into jewelry, hence the name Plated. So she basically she's excited. She says she wants to see how this jewelry is received by people she knows and loves before she puts it out in the world. Well, that's not going to be helpful because everyone's gonna be like, I love this. This is so great. You're not going to get any good feedback from that.
No, it's just her Housewives party. She doesn't mean it. So Heather brings her some butter, and it's a very butter heavy episode. It's a very butter heavy season, I would say. Then everybody starts arriving. Whitney's upset because of Sherry, and she tells Meredith about it, and Meredith cries, and she's like, I can't believe you came. And Whitney's like, yeah, Sherry would want me to. So then Whitney is talking to Monica, and she's like, I don't know if I should drink, but Sherry would want me dancing on those tables.
Mm-hmm. And everyone's just like hugging Whitney. It's actually like the stuff with Sherry is like very, very sad. It's sweet and sad, and like everyone's just hugging her, and everyone's saying hi. And this is where Heather comes up and is like, "It's okay, just compartmentalize. It's okay if you do." I was like, I don't know if I love that advice, but sure.
Well, I think she's saying it's okay to be at a party right when Sherry died. Like, it's okay to compartmentalize, and you can do two things at once. Like, you can still grieve and you can still come to this. You're not a bad person for trying to get you some free Meredith Marks jewelry, because you know that shit's expensive.
Right. So Heather's talking to Whitney about this, and then Lisa comes over with like a bunch of like jewelry or beads or something in her hand. She goes, 420, 420. You know what? Like, Heather's book party was on 420, so here's some cannabis gas. And she like is giving gifts to Heather, and we can see that Whitney is like really upset that she did not get a hug from Lisa.
And then she's like, we see the clip of her going, I can't believe you acted that way at my Prism event, but I thought we moved on. And she's saying, and she was the first person I called about Sherry, and now for her to act like I'm not existing right now is very hurtful. And Lisa is doing that, she's like, yes, 420, which I guess is her being awkward, like not knowing how to broach the subject. So she's just over doing it. That's giving her like, credit that I don't know is due. But
I was wondering if she was doing that thing where she's trying to seem actually so normal, so that way she doesn't want to like make Whitney feel a certain sort of way. Like, I don't know, but either way, Whitney clearly. Anyone who knows Whitney knows that she would want the hug and all that stuff. So then we cut to Seth going up to a bunch of women and saying, the more you buy, the more you save. And they're like, thank you, sir.
So Monica and Whitney are looking at the earrings and stuff. And Whitney's like, when I think of Meredith, I think of this ring, the poison ring, and Stardust.
And then Meredith gives a speech where she's like, oh, thank you all for coming today. I'm super, super excited to launch my new collection, plated by Meredith Marks. It was inspired by the little plates that I put my Gerber baby food on for my toddler. And I just want to thank first and foremost my husband, Seth Marks. And he's like, what? Me? What? Mayor? What?
I'm trying to see where this is.
Well, she then goes on and says, well, through this process, there were a lot of frustrations, and he was always there to support me and never stop me. He never put the brakes on with the support. So thank you, Seth. And then
I like Lisa. That. Like a little diss to Lisa. Wow, thanks for never pumping the brakes without me even knowing the brakes were pumped. That was really nice of you, Seth.
So then we see Meredith and Monica are looking at the jewelry and chatting, and then Lisa, this is the Stardust thing. And then
I got lost. But also Meredith tells us the whole plated collection ranges from $50 to $500. Then why do they keep showing shit? Then we see something that's like $5,000. What the hell, Meredith? Do you think she's just mixing the cheap stuff with all the expensive stuff since she's got rich people there anyway?
I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look, but maybe that could be her clever little.
Oh, I was like closing up on that shit.
They're like doorbusters, or they're lost leaders. Who knows? So they're like talking about jewelry and everything, and Whitney is like, Lisa comes up while Meredith and Whitney are looking at jewelry, and Lisa comes up and interrupts them, and Whitney like basically gets an excuse to get out of there, and she goes over and talks to the guys. And then
Monica's like, Lisa, I want to tell you something. When we first had lunch together, I was like so excited to bond with you, and I just think it just went so far left and got so ugly, and I'm owning my part. Okay? I fight very dirty. I say things I don't mean, and even if I'm going to put this in my mother's name, I still own it. You got that? So, still mine.
Well, I don't ever want to go that low again because we're smarter than that.
Yeah, and I respect you, and like you do a lot of things that like I admire, like like the way you the way you eat like chewing gum is like really cool, I guess. That's like innovative. So like
You're
that's
like
cool.
really consistent. Like it's amazing how every time you go to eat, you have crumbs in your front hair. That's like crazy. Like good for you. Also, you're kind of a good mom, I guess.
And Lisa's like,
Oh my God, you were so good at apologizing. You're really good at that. She goes,
No, but I'm being serious.
She goes, I know. You're really good. This is like the one time I'm like, keep talking, Monica. Okay, keep on.
You know, I just felt like you have a senior and I have a senior, and then like you like knew what I was going through like a mission and everything. And she's,
Oh yeah, by the way, Jack's going to Bogota, Colombia, fashion capital of Europe. And she's like,
oh my God, stop! He's going to Colombia.
yeah, there's like a jungle and everything. It's like literally not even any buildings, just all plants.
Oh my God, like no one even told me. Like that's like makes me want to like honestly like makes me want to like cry because like the Colombian side of me is like my dad, and like I don't like know my dad, and I just feel like disconnected. I just like want to cry right now.
and so Lisa's like,
Okay, you know what? You've had trauma. Okay? And you've had trauma, I guess. And you know where I've had trauma? My friendships. Ouch. I'm triggered. So once I start to see like, it's a problem, like I pull back.
and Monica's like,
Yeah, well, that's why I'm apologizing. Because, like, I'm just that way because that's how I was raised.
and Lisa's like,
Oh, okay. Then we're fine. We're fine, right? I always have to double check. I don't even know when we're fine. Okay, we're fine. We're fine.
Yeah. And by the way, thank you so much for not bringing that plant over there into the conversation. I'm so glad we kept it between the two of us.
So then Seth is talking to Heather, and he's like, we need to find a man for Heather. What's your perfect man? Do you want to bring him on the podcast? Like, stop compromising. What would be the physical features of your Ken doll?
and she's like, compromising is not banging 24-year-olds. Okay, brass ring. So then some crazy face lady tells Heather that her daughter got into USC. She's kind of like Brandy Glanville, just showing up everywhere. She kind of looks like Brandy. And so then Heather makes a joke. She goes, be honest, did you put her on a rowing machine?
I appreciate that. And then Lisa...
What does it mean?
I think that's a reference to the scandal, the Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin scandal of like the college admission scandal. One of my favorite scandals of the past 10 years, just because it was like everyone could get behind it. It didn't become politicized. There wasn't like a culture war around it. We all just were like, ha. So anyway, Lisa and Whitney, hey, what? Can I steal you for a second? Just to quote Monica. So Lisa's like, listen, I had like a little lunch with Meredith, and I felt like the conversation was like not the best, but I thought we left it fine. And she's like, yeah.
I lost my friend, and life is too short for this shit. So forgive me if I don't have the capacity.
And she's like,
I didn't want to be insensitive. I mean, I was just asking.
Yeah, but then when you walked up,
and then Monica interrupts them. And Whitney's like, who's rubbing my back? And she goes, okay, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want to show you guys something. Come over here for 5 minutes. So it's already bad timing, right?
Yeah.
So Lisa's like, okay, it was bad timing with Whitney. Like, I don't know. Should I talk to her? Should I not talk to her?
Right. And so Monica's like,
Okay, girls, like now that we're all gathered around and not wearing bonnets, I just want to give you guys some Bermuda rum because they're known for their rum. And these are called malaches. They're pastries. And I'm like really excited for Bermuda. I have like a lot of family, like it's just like a lot of trees there, which is like my mom loves to talk to them. And like my grandma was born there, and like my great grandma and like my great grandfather. And they actually moved there to like build up Bermuda.
I'm like, so colonizers. Okay, got it.
Well, I mean, who among us? Am I right? Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
No, it just was funny. She's like, yeah, we just like came out, like my great grandparents came over to basically like build up Bermuda. It was funny. In 2023, it's a funny thing to say.
we built it. So basically, we founded Bermuda. My grandparents basically founded Bermuda. They were called the Great Erasers. So, hugs.
Everyone's like, wow, I guess that sounds fun. She goes,
yeah, so it's not just a girls' trip. It's a chance for me to meet family. I'm so sick of yelling at the same lady in knockoff pajama pants. I cannot wait to yell at a couple of cousins.
So, yeah, she just is like, she wants to know more about where she comes from. And so they all cheers to Bermuda. And then Monica apologizes again for, I guess Pioneer Day or whatever. And everyone's like, good job, Monica. You did it. Great work. And the music's all happy. And the music, everything feels like great. You're like, oh, wow, this episode's really like, and this is an episode that ended on a happy note. But I'm like, but there's still 6 minutes left. So what's going on? What's about to happen?
And we see earrings, $2,600. I was like, this whole party is a lie. I'm there. I said it.
So then Whitney is talking to Brooks about losing her friend. And Brooks is like, I'm so sorry.
Oh God, Brooks looks so.
Just starts running like he was running on the ski slope that day, or in the what is the snowshoeing day.
The look on his face when he hugs Whitney, he's like, is this what I do? Like, what am I supposed to do next? Gross.
It's like ox. So Monica goes up to this table where these gays are eating the pastries. And she goes,
I'm sorry, but those are not free. Those are gifts. Sorry to be the mean one to take away gifts, but you're old. You're ugly. Actually, one of the girls didn't show today, so you can have her box. And here's some rum.
The gay guy's like, you have taste, girl. So then we go to Lisa, and she goes up to Whitney and goes, hello, Whitney, are you doing okay? Like, I think dealing with death is difficult, and I know, I know you don't know how to approach it with people, so, I'm sorry you lost someone who's so important to you. And, I guess, did Whitney say that? No, but Lisa said that.
Well, basically, look, she's like, I don't know how to approach death with people, and I'm sorry you lost someone so important to you. And Whitney's like,
well, that really hurts because you walk right past me and then you go to Heather with gifts. Like, oh my God, Heather.
She goes, no. She goes,
yeah, And then you look at me like, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. I need you to look at me. I need you to hug me and acknowledge I lost my best friend.
She's like, oh my God, listen, I'm losing my son to Bogota.
Luckily, he keeps the fashion alive. So then she's like, I'm sorry, Whitney, I'm sorry. Like, I can't keep a mental calculator, everything going on for everyone, all times, at all moments, which is not what you should say to someone who just lost their best friend.
That is the queen of the wrong response. She is the queen of saying the wrong thing.
To say. Just say, it's like there's a really, really easy path forward in these situations, because when people are in mourning and grief, they're full of emotion, and you just say, I'm so sorry, Whitney. I'm so sorry. Just say I'm sorry over and over again. Don't say I'm sorry. I don't have a mental calculator. Remember every single thing that's gone wrong in your life.
So Whitney's like,
yeah, well, I'm talking to you about it for the last 5 days. I'm like, bitch, I texted you about it last night. Does this bitch need an abacus to keep track of it? It was 22 hours ago, 25 hours ago. Could somebody get me an abacus to keep track of it?
The abacus reference. Wow. I was not expecting abacus to ever come out of Whitney Rose's mouth.
She's got a new gay this year. I'm telling
you. Well, she thought it had something to do about cursing while listening to ABBA. So Lisa, that's an abacus, girl. So Lisa's like, it wasn't out of lack of concern for you. It's more about wanting just to talk about me. Okay, you're always important. You're always super important, which is why I came and talked to you 45 minutes into this party about this.
So Whitney's like, well, I would expect to come before Heather, and I texted you last night, and I didn't text and tell everyone. I just came to you. And she's like, but I responded to that. And she's saying, well, but then you gave Heather a gift and instead of comforting me. And she's like, well, okay, I'm sorry. She's like, that's not really what happened. It's more that I was excited. She goes, well, that's how it appeared to me. And I tried to suck it up, but it hurt my feelings.
And Lisa's like, well, I'm not perfect. Okay? You know who is? Jack in a skinny tie. Amazing. I'm going to miss him.
Yeah, it's very modern. It's not a black tie. It's just a very deep shade of navy blue. So modern. Yeah, so she's basically like, yeah, I'm not perfect and everything. And, she's like, I'm not a bad person. I'm a good person. She's like, no, you're not a bad person, but I think you're lacking in self-awareness. She goes, well, I think it's triggering seeing me talk to Heather. I think that's what you felt.
No, it wasn't that.
Okay, just making sure.
So Lisa tells us, Whitney texted her about her friend passing and she felt really terrible and she sent flowers, but they're in public and she doesn't know how quiet Whitney wants to keep this, and she doesn't want to say anything because she doesn't know like how Whitney handles grief or whatever. But this is a thing with Lisa, because remember with Meredith's father dying, Lisa was the same. That was Meredith's argument against Lisa, like, for Christ's sake, woman, my dad just died. She's like, oh my God, you know what just died in my house? My dream of Jack going to college. That's what just died in my house. It's like, oh my God, Lisa, it's not about you, Lisa.
This is also a Real Housewives thing in general. Like when someone dies and like this is this is Marlo with Candy. Like you didn't, like Candy's like, I texted you.
Well, that was a stretch. That one was like 3
right,
years
but like
late.
but I think we've seen things like this before where it's like when people are dealing with grief, they, like I said, they're full of emotion and they tend to overreact. It's not anything that's wrong with them. It's like there's so much going on. But we've seen this in Housewives fights before where it's like someone's like, but I texted you. I was Jill Zarin and Bethany Frankel, although that was about cancer, it wasn't about death. But like this is definitely something that's come up time and time again. But in this case, Lisa is really messing up here. Lisa just has such an easy way out of it, and the fact that she chooses not to take the easy way out of this argument is just
she never does. She takes everything in such a way that she's like, oh my God, they're attacking me and making me look stupid on TV,
Yeah, that's
Instead of just being like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to be insensitive, she's like, oh my God, now I'm a bitch on TV. How could you do this? Like, yes, I knew this. Yes, she's been texting me about it for days, and now she's going to make me look like an asshole about it on national TV,
Right.
Which is just so Lisa to react that way. So she's like, Whitney said, but I texted you first. And Lisa's saying, but there's flowers on the way to your house. There's flowers. And she's like, but I don't need flowers. I need you.
Whitney. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Whitney starts to storm out. And so Lisa goes after her and starts saying, Whitney, no one wants you leaving, Whitney. Whitney's like, I'm going to leave. And then everyone's watching them storm out together. And it's like, what's going to happen?
Right. And this, Whitney, it's like part of me is cringing because I'm like, I don't know. It's like using your friend I don't know. The whole thing is making me uncomfortable, but also she's mourning, right? So I don't think that you act like your normal self when you're mourning, And she is right that Lisa is fucking selfish as hell.
What Lisa said, like, I don't have a calculator to keep track of every single little thing that happens in my friends' lives. I thought that was a pretty
Lisa
rude thing to say.
Keeps making it this like, but then you gave Heather a gift. And I'm like, well, I don't know. It starts becoming, but then I have to realize like there's no reason in grief. You know what I mean? Yeah. And also she's not really wrong either. But she is very Whitney. Like, I'm leaving. And then she just comes right back around. She never leaves. And she kind of comes back with this like little Whitney smirk on her face.
Yeah.
But Lisa loses her shit, right? So she chases Whitney out and she's like, oh my God. No, Whitney, that's not what's happening. She's like, and I'm out of here. And then she's sobbing now. She's going, fuck this. And the producer's saying, Lisa, we need to check your mic. Just, no. You guys need to stop this right now. You need to stop it right now.
And then you just see Meredith going, wow. And then John going, if it's not one thing, it's another. So then now Whitney's gone back into the party. Whitney's like, I'm leaving, and now I'm back. But then Lisa is now outside, and she is with production, and she's having a meltdown. She's like, motherfucker, fuck this. Like, literally, like, you know what? You want to see about putting people first. And then we see, by the way, she's having this meltdown, and there's this random green piano behind her with this, like, teenage girl playing it. Did you notice that? There's this random
teenager
girl just
playing
stopped, piano.
And she's, like, not looking. Like, you've got Lisa right next to her screaming, fuck this, and this girl's just staring straight ahead like the Blair Witch in a nice dress.
She's like, am I going to get excommunicated? And so Lisa's like, you know what? Why don't you like keep your fucking mouth shut? Ah! And then the sound person or the PA or whoever tries to put a mic pack back on Lisa. She goes, no. You're not putting that back on. You're not putting that back on.
So John comes to get her and she's like, oh my God, it's Whitney. I'm just like so sick of this. Like, I'm a selfish person. I'm all about myself. I mean, you are kind of ruining somebody's event.
You're kind of making it about yourself right now. Like you're acting like you are the one who is in the biggest state of pain when it's Whitney who's the one who's grieving her friend. But that's why we love Housewives, because they make everything about themselves.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Lisa Barlow with self-awareness, the show wouldn't work.
Yeah, I love it. And I think I said this last week. That's how you always know it's a good season, when they announce the vacation and they still can't even get to the vacation the next episode because there's still too much going on.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of this two-parter. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us. We will be back with lots of stuff this weekend. We've still got Beverly Hills coming, Miami coming, Southern Charm coming. Next week, we've got all those shows. Plus, Southern Hospitality is coming back next week.
Oh, my goodness.
One of our favorites.
Hey,
so
yeah,
we're going to be here.
Yeah, and about that, with Southern Hospitality, we've decided we're going to have those recaps up on Monday mornings, because there's like so much stuff happening at the end of the week. So for people who are going to be wondering where those recaps are, listen for them on Mondays.
Okay, we'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye, everyone.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Stroll in the park with Caitlin Clark.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know Your Worth with Jason Kurth.
She's the wind beneath our Jennifer Wing.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying. It's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. We want to hang with Liz Lang. The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She's quite the catch. It's Victoria Cotchett.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Today, hip-hop dominates pop culture, but it wasn't always like that. And to tell the story of how that changed, I want to take you back to a very special year in rap.
88, it was too much good music. The world was on fire.
Yeah. I'm Will Smith. This is Class of 88, my new podcast about the moments, albums, and artists that inspired a sonic revolution and secured 1988 as one of hip-hop's most important years. We'll talk to the people who were there. And most of all, we'll bring you some amazing stories. You know what my biggest memory from that tour is? It was your birthday.
Yes, and you brought me the Sade life-size cardboard cutout.
This is Class of 88, the story of a year that changed hip-hop.
Listen to Class of 88 wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge the entire series right now on the Amazon Music app or Audible.